Duckboats are super fun. More than one copy. 4 tickets, 1 kid.
Really heavy duty, mil spec.
Yes.
I'll see you at the park.
I'll be your guide today as we cruise along.
Come on!
Butter brownie. Oh, and speaking.
Fucking hey!
The film opens with Hutch Mansell in a tense situation, being interrogated by 2 federal agents. The atmosphere suggests that something violent has occurred, and Hutch is at the center of it all. Since then, Hutch has relocated to a new home and established a seemingly mundane routine. On the surface, he appears to have returned to a typical, uneventful life. However, as the plot unfolds, it becomes evident that he has re-entered the world of covert operations, working as a black ops agent for the American intelligence agency. As a devoted family man, Hutch maintains regular contact with his wife, Becca Mansell, who expresses her frustration over his hectic schedule. She urges him to spend more quality time with their children and mentions plans for a family vacation that summer. Being a caring husband, Hutch promises to prioritize family time. Later that day, he meets with a man known as the Barber, a former handler who now serves as a liaison for Hutch's new assignments. It is revealed that Hutch's return to this dangerous line of work stems from a significant debt incurred after the violent confrontation with Russian mobsters in the first film. He now owes the Russian Mafia an astounding $30 million to repay this debt. Hutch finds himself compelled to undertake high-stakes missions for substantial financial rewards. Having just completed a mission involving the retrieval of a data card from a criminal organization. Hutch informs the Barber that he had to resort to lethal force against everyone at the compound. For his efforts,
P7s. Only one?
he demands a larger payout and receives a hefty sum of $700,000. Although the Barber offers him another assignment, Hutch declines, reiterating his commitment to fulfilling his promise to Becca. During his last mission, he stumbles upon a familiar location from his childhood, a tourist destination called Plumberville, which sparks a desire to take his family there. Surprisingly, the Barber encourages him to take some time off for the trip. The next day, Hutch excitedly shares the news of their upcoming family vacation to Plumberville. This place holds nostalgic significance for him, and he is eager to create new memories with his loved ones. While Becca and their daughter Sammy are thrilled about the getaway, their teenage son Brady is less enthusiastic, dismissing Plumberville as a destination suited only for younger children. Complicating matters further, Hutch's father, David Mansell, is also joining them on the trip. The following day, they embark on their journey and pick up David from his retirement home. Upon arriving in Plumberville, Hutch and his family check into their accommodations while David stays elsewhere. Becca views the trip as a significant opportunity for Hutch to escape his perilous lifestyle. But for Hutch, Plumberville evokes cherished memories of his stepbrother Harry. It's the only vacation they ever shared as children. Lost in reflection, Hutch's deep contemplation is misinterpreted by Sheriff Abel, a local police officer, leading to an awkward moment of tension that requires clarification. Once the misunderstanding is resolved with the overly confident cop, Hutch and his family head to a video game arcade. There, Brady attempts to impress a girl by offering her some of his arcade tickets. Her boyfriend, a punk named Max, was far from pleased about the situation. In a fit of anger, he retaliated by destroying a doll that Sammy had just won, an act that shattered her joy. Witnessing his sister's toy being ruined ignited a protective instinct in Brady, who immediately confronted Max, leading to an explosive brawl. Instead of intervening to restore order, a staff member chose to side with Max, further escalating the conflict. This blatant injustice caught Hutch's attention, prompting him to step in and defend his son. Fortunately, Becca managed to defuse the tension before it spiraled out of control. Determined to avoid any further chaos, she decided to take the kids and leave the arcade. However, in an inexplicable act of aggression, the staff member struck Sammy on the head, unleashing a torrent of fury within Hutch. He had reached his breaking point. The Invisible Man had become visible, and his dormant fighting spirit surged back to life. What followed was an epic confrontation that resulted in his arrest and a fateful encounter with Sheriff Abel. At the police station, Hutch found himself lecturing Brady about the importance of resolving conflicts without violence. Yet, Brady wasn't receptive to his father's words. He retorted that Hutch's actions were far more brutal and questioned his right to lecture him. Shortly thereafter, Sheriff Abel escorted Hutch to meet Wyatt Martin, the owner of Plumberville and Max's father. Fortunately, Wyatt proved to be a reasonable man, willing to overlook the incident as long as Hutch and his family vacated the premises immediately. However, Sheriff Abel had other plans and instructed his crew to deal with Hutch and his family. Returning to the hotel, Hutch was met with Becca's fury. She was incredulous at how her husband had managed to turn their vacation into a chaotic mess. Yet her anger softened when Hutch sincerely apologized and vowed to refrain from causing any more trouble. As a gesture of goodwill, he presented her with a bottle of liquor, a peace offering that eased her frustration somewhat. The following day, as they attempted to continue their vacation,
This is not a fair fight. This is not. Sammy, wait for me.
Dad.
Grandpa doesn't know what he's missing. More than 4 tickets, 1 kid.
Really heavy duty.
Yes.
Hutch noticed a police officer shadowing them. Concerned for his family's safety, he urged Becca and the kids to take one boat while he took another. But on his boat, Hutch found himself cornered by a police officer and his crew of local thugs. He pleaded with them for a peaceful family outing, but they were unyielding and launched an attack. In the ensuing brawl,
Oh, and speaking.
Talk to me.
Hutch lost his pinky finger, a painful reminder of how dear the situation had become. A well-timed punch from one of the thugs sent him tumbling into the water, leading them to believe they had left him for dead. Yet from that moment of despair emerged a fierce determination. Hutch resurfaced with a vengeance. He unleashed the inner nobody he had long concealed, demonstrating that he was not to be underestimated. After single-handedly dispatching sheriff's men, Hutch found himself in a dark place, grappling with the chaos around him. He felt trapped in a relentless cycle of violence that seemed inescapable no matter how hard he tried to break free. A sense of dread gnawed at him, that perhaps his brutal past was not just behind him but an integral part of who he truly was. In a moment of vulnerability, he reached out to his stepbrother Harry, expressing that Plumberville was not the idyllic place he remembered from their childhood. To Hutch's shock, Harry revealed a chilling truth: the town had never been peaceful at all, and their father David hadn't merely taken them on vacations. There were darker secrets lurking beneath the surface. Hutch had unwittingly turned their family vacations into covert operations, using them as a cover to dismantle criminal networks and recruit allies, which explained the family's uncanny knack for navigating danger. To confirm his suspicions, he reached out to the local barber, who revealed the unsettling truth: Plumberville had morphed into a major smuggling hub under the thumb of a ruthless crime lord named Landina. Known for her volatility and nefarious dealings, ranging from drugs to firearms and bioweapons. Landina posed a significant threat. The barber cautioned Hutch to keep his distance, warning that he wouldn't hesitate to protect his own family if trouble arose. Meanwhile, at the Plumberville theme park, Sammy was attempting to pet a dog when a senior staff member abruptly ordered her to back off. Unbeknownst to her, the park's owner, Wyatt, was merely a pawn in Landina's dangerous game. He was burdened with a massive debt inherited from his father, and his only means of repaying it was to allow Landina to use his resort as a front for her smuggling operations. Though Wyatt had recently settled his debt, Landina's grip was far from loosened. She had ordered Sheriff Abel, a corrupt local officer, to kidnap his son, Max, as leverage. Hutch recognized the gravity of the situation. Landina was not to be trifled with, and he couldn't stand idly by while his family was in peril. He ventured to her warehouse, where Sheriff Abel and his crew were stationed. In a desperate bid to protect his loved ones, Hutch poured gasoline over a mountain of cartel cash and threatened to ignite it if Sheriff Abel didn't back off. The sheriff's fear was palpable as he reluctantly acquiesced to Hutch's demands. However, just as Hutch prepared to leave, he spotted Max confined within the warehouse. A moral dilemma loomed before him. Ultimately, his conscience prevailed. He rescued Max and ignited the entire warehouse. Incinerating Landina's ill-gotten gains. The explosion sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld and reached Landina in record time. Enraged by the audacity of an ordinary family man wreaking havoc on her operation, she realized that Hutch had effectively declared war. With no time to lose, Hutch returned Max to David's hotel, where Brady unexpectedly embraced the boy with open arms. Yet for Becca, this was the final straw. She was exasperated by Hutch's unfulfilled promises and the relentless violence that seemed to trail him. In a heartfelt apology, Hutch suggested that perhaps the best course for their family would be for him to disappear entirely. The mention of divorce hit Becca like a thunderbolt, leaving her reeling. After that fraught conversation, Hutch sought out Wyatt to assure him that his son was safe. However, before he could express his relief, Wyatt erupted in anger. blaming Hutch for dragging their families into this chaos. After exchanging heated blows, Wyatt calmed down enough to thank Hutch for rescuing Max from Landina's grasp. Aware that this was merely the beginning of their troubles, Wyatt wasted no time fortifying Plumberville into a stronghold in preparation for the impending conflict. Just when hope seemed dim, Harry arrived, ready to stand shoulder to shoulder with his stepbrother in the fight ahead. Adding to their strength was David, their father and a retired FBI agent, who joined their ranks. Together, they began laying traps and strategizing for the inevitable showdown against Landina and her criminal empire. Meanwhile, Becca remained in a daze, grappling with the weight of Hutch's divorce talk and its implications for their fractured family. She overheard her children's conversation, her gaze drifting to the rifle before her. In that moment, clarity washed over her. She was resolute in her decision to stand beside her husband in the fight ahead. That very night, Landina and her crew descended upon Plumberville, intent on confronting Hutch. Sheriff Abel, sensing the impending chaos, made a desperate plea for Hutch and Wyatt to surrender, insisting they were in over their heads. Yet, fear did not cloud their resolve. When they steadfastly refused to back down, Landina commanded his men to attack, but in a shocking turn of events, they turned on him, ending his life in an instant. The battle for Plumberville had officially begun. As darkness enveloped the town, Landina's forces surged into the mirror maze, unaware of the peril that awaited them. One by one, they fell victim to the ingenious traps set by Hutch's team. Wyatt displayed remarkable bravery, luring Landina's henchmen into the snares, but he paid a heavy price when he was shot in the leg. David, despite being a retired man, joined the fray with fierce determination but was caught in an explosion that seemed to sideline him for good. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Brady channeled his father's courage as he sprang into action to protect his sister, Sammy, from Landina's men. Outside, Harry swiftly dispatched the attackers with a skill honed for war. Just as the tension reached a boiling point, Landina made her entrance flanked by two imposing bodyguards. For the first time, Hutch found himself cornered, facing an adversary more ruthless than any he had encountered before. Sensing his vulnerability, Landina taunted him mercilessly, declaring that he had crossed paths with the wrong woman. Just as she prepared to deliver a crushing blow, Wyatt, injured yet undeterred, launched himself at her in a final act of valor, only to receive a brutal beating in return. But even this sacrifice could not halt Landina's relentless assault on Hutch. In a stunning twist, Becca emerged with a tranquilizer gun and took Landina down with precision, proving herself a fierce ally ready to fight alongside her husband. Though momentarily stunned, Landina still commanded an army poised for battle. At that critical juncture, David, miraculously surviving the earlier explosion, activated the final trap, unleashing a torrent of water that engulfed the area. Caught in the chaos, Landina met her demise as the tide turned against her. As Hutch teetered on the brink of drowning, Becca rushed to his side, embodying her unwavering support and love through her decisive actions. The scene then shifted back to where it all began, Hutch being interrogated. This time, however, he wasn't alone. Becca stood firmly by his side. The federal agents soon realized they were outmatched and received a call from their superior instructing them to withdraw. The film concluded with Hutch reflecting on their tumultuous vacation, a journey marked by loss and sacrifice, but ultimately reaffirmed by the strength of family bonds that endured through it all. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.